Welcome back. I have an episode here planned for the Rookie of the Year. I know I said in the past episodes I'd do a Rookie of the Year update race, so I thought it'd be fun to do today. Haven't made an episode in a while, been a little bit busy at work. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the AL. In the AL, we have a lot of good pitchers in the Rookie of the Year race and only one good hitter. It's been an interesting year for both sides. Actually, a really heavy pitcher focused in both the NL and the AL for the races. We'll start off with the top guy here. Oscar Soto looks like a pretty easy bet for number one. He has just been phenomenal this season. He's got 5.3 WAR pace going on here. He's not letting up too many home runs. He's striking out a crazy amount of batters. Guys are only hitting 196 off him. He's got 3.1 FIP. And if you look at his pitching log on the season, 5 straight player of the games here, 6 straight player of the games down here in his starts, and just one of the craziest 3 start stretches I've seen with 22 innings between these 3 starts here, 7, 8, and 7, 0 runs, and you got like 27 strikeouts or something stupid, 3 walks. So just a crazy season he's having. One of the best rookie pitching seasons I can ever remember. Uh, phenomenal stuff out of the first place White Sox guy. And last year they had JP Massey as a rookie, so back to back star pitchers there. That's going to be a really nasty rotation for a long time with those two. And then next up, we got John Pittman. John Pittman has had one of the crazier TCRs I've seen. Actually, let's look at Soto's development before we get into Pittman there. Yeah, he's actually always been really good. His movement's gone up quite a bit. I guess he was a scouting discovery with 25 movement and 20 control. Just gone crazy since then. So really crazy development in about 5 years. But yeah, Pittman's might be even crazier. Pittman was a college guy like not even 2 years ago with 40, 50 movement, and now it's 75. So just one of the crazier TCRs you'll see. He's up almost 30 stuff, and he's up 20 control. So just been a phenomenal 2 year development plan for him in Oakland. So he's got 150 innings pitched, 3.7 FIP. He's only let up 0.6 home runs per 9 with that movement, which should be a career-long thing for him. Should never be above 1 with that crazy movement, especially in that ballpark. He's only striking out 17%, only walking 8%, which is pretty solid control. Strikeouts should probably be a little bit higher with his stuff. I guess he's just waiting on that sinker to get more developed. But with 60 stuff, you'd think he'd be striking out close to 20. So that's a guy that should put up like 5, 6 WAR seasons once he gets fully developed there. That control is still 15 points away, which is a lot. That's 30% away from his total. So yeah, he's still only about 65% developed in his control, if you think about it that way mathematically. So yeah, just an amazing season from those top 2 guys. And then you get a little bit of a tier together with all these guys here, started by Tanner Witt. Tanner Witt is one of my favorite prospects in baseball. He was a 2-way player in the draft, had a crazy TCR, went up a ton of stuff, you can see the big control jump right here, and a big movement jump. So just a crazy development he's had. All 3 of those guys kind of follow that same trend. Tanner Witt has insane fastball, curveball, forkball combination. So on pace for almost 3 WAR. Guys are only hitting 240 off him. He's striking out 21.8% of guys, where Pittman was at 17. So you get almost 5% more strikeout rate that he has. So the home runs are a little bit higher, which is the difference. Tanner Witt is awesome player too, and that's without a lot of help in Cleveland and a big rebuilding year. They don't have a ton of talent on the field there right now, so that those stats should get even better in the next few years. I wouldn't be surprised if he was closer to 3.2, 3.4 WHIP guy in the next couple seasons. So a couple of young star pitcher prospects there. Next up, you got Pete Hanson. Pete Hanson has insane control. Not a lot of excitement there, just not letting many guys on the base pass for free. He's got a 2.9 whip coming out of the bullpen for most of the season and has had a few really nice starts here. 3 of the last 4 games had awesome appearances. 0 walks, 0 walks, 0 walks. You just see how many games he has. He's really got good control with only 2 wild pitches in 70 innings. So just a really nice arm there. Crispin is actually one of the highest ceiling arms in baseball. He's only 23 years old, 6'6". He is walking quite a bit of guys at 11.2%, which should go down with that 60 control. That should only be at 7 or 8%. So once he gets that under control, he should be really good. Another guy that should be closer to 3-4 WAR talent over the next couple seasons. Only let up 8 hits per 9, and he's getting hit off guys are hitting 250 off in the season. He's on pace for almost 160 innings for a young Baltimore squad. So him and Rocker is quite the combo there. A couple other guys here. Eddie Billings was a top 10 pick. Eddie Billings has phenomenal movement, but again, on a weak Cleveland team, he's letting up quite a bit of home runs, more than he should probably. So yet another guy that's having a solid season, but should even getter. So all these guys in the next few years should be really nasty once they develop a little bit more. So that's it for the pitchers. We'll just talk about Medina last. Medina is a beast in Boston. He's a relief pitcher who has 50 innings pitched in the majors this year at the best rookie whip at .88, 2.9 FIP, and just a crazy season. Guys are only hitting 206 off him. Only one wild pitch in 50 innings. 3.1% walk rate at 70 control. So just insane. Only 3 of 100 batters are walking off of him, which is nuts. So just a awesome season from him. You got a guy logging a lot of innings in Minnesota too. Another team that's rebuilding, so the stats probably aren't as sparkling as they would be on a better team. Just logging a ton of innings though on a young ball club that kind of valuable for teams like that. So anyways, that's it for the pitchers on the AL. The hitters, not a lot to talk about other than the top couple is Volpe at 3.5 WAR. Volpe's got an awesome all-around profile. He's like a shortstop playing second base, really good defender, really good runner, really good contact hitter, decent amount of power. His ISO is actually 114, which isn't too terrible with only 40 power. He's got 8% walk rate. He's seeing 3.75 pitches per plate appearance, which is kind of cool. And just, yeah, really solid all around. Captain, really good mentals. Just a really solid player for the Yankees. Pretty crazy. He's on pace for 4.6 WAR. As you just can see how valuable his defensive second basemen are. So he's having a big season there. And then Drew Jones in center field in Kansas City. He's been so top notch there defensively. He's actually knocked over Kjerstad to left field. So they got those two big time young outfielders with plenty more to come in their loaded farm system. Probably overachieving a little bit offensively with 100 OPS plus, with a profile that looks like it probably should be closer to 60 OPS plus, but it does have 50 power and 70 range, which is a pretty nice combo. And he steals a couple bases and plays really good defense. He's probably at like a plus 8 zone range there. It's really nasty. 9 outfield assists with a 70 arm strength. Just a really top-notch defensive center fielder, which is really cool. And then same story, almost exact same with Cologne here, except Cologne's playing a lot better offensively. Cologne's only had 46 games. He already has 2 WAR, playing quite a bit above his head offensively. Probably should be closer to 250, 230 hitter. But he's hitting 307, which is wild. So maybe his hit tool is better than my scout thinks. But he's got some that eye really helps play that contact up a little bit when you got such a good eye. 60 eye from a young guy walking almost 10% of the time is really nasty, and he can steal some bases, play top-notch defense. So just a couple really good defensive players there, and then another Yankee there, just a kind of nice solid role-playing third baseman and center fielder. And then you got the big power bat here. Bianco's out for the year, unfortunately. He's got the big-time Bryce Harper profile, 70 power, 75 eye, and probably should be a monster in the middle of that Cleveland lineup for a long time. Next year, when they're at full strength, they got him and Alex Bregman now in the middle of that lineup, 2 righty power bats, so that should be really nice. Cleveland should start to get a lot better with Tanner Witt and Eddie Billings, those 2 pitchers we showed you, and then Bianco and a couple big-time players develop in there in Cleveland. I think they should see a little bit more success there in the near future. It's kind of exciting for them. So that's it for the AL. Looks like, to recap there, it's pretty runaway season there by Oscar Soto. But I think Pittman has a chance to catch him. Tanner Witt's having a really good season too, and Volpe. So those are probably your top 4 by a significant margin. So let's go over to the NL. The NL, we have the same story. There's almost no hitters at all worth talking about too much. My guy, nice Korean guy, has had a really good career over in South Korea. Hitting 300 for me, just a nice little role player. As you can see, he has a ton of championships over in Korea. He's hitting 300 with 103 OPS plus. So it's a nice cheap role player for me in left field there. So I want to kind of have a heavy contact guy because I had a lot of low contact, heavy power hitters. So I just want someone to get on base for all those power bats, and be able to run the base pass at a decent level with a good base running there, 65. So just kind of filling out what I needed there. You got Bill Miranda with 21 home runs in St. Louis. I think if it was any other ball park, he would probably be closer to 35 or 40. Pretty hard to hit home runs there. He's a big time talent. You get the leader in WAR position-wise is Chicago Cub here, 60 contact, 60 eye combination, 233 ISO, kind of like a DH profile, hitting 118 WRC plus, really solid season out of him. And then you got nice young catcher logging a bunch of starts on a team that's contending for the playoffs in St. Louis. Really nice 100 OPS plus season from a young athletic catcher. Really big time defensive profile there. So nice young talent. In real life, he's projected first round pick this year too, I think. Torres had a really good season in Pittsburgh, just a defensive specialist second baseman with a 90 OPS plus. And then you got another defensive specialist here in Rob Gordon, young shortstop, really good runner in Colorado. He's actually hitting really well, 280, with a nice nice offensive profile there for what he's got talent wise. So just a nice couple bit of role players there, but nothing too significant standing out there, really. And then you got Miranda, who's kind of got that major power, or sorry, not Miranda, Carrier too, who's got that major power in St. Louis. Really similar profile to Miranda. Really top-notch defensive center fielder, on pace for almost 30 home runs, which is pretty cool from a center fielder with 70 range. Pitching-wise is a story in the NL, just like the AL. You got the top dog, Jose Vasquez, came over from the pitching factory at Pittsburgh. Got big-time control, only 4% walk rate. Striking out over 20% of guys as a lefty. Logging a ton of innings, ton of high quality innings for a team that's in the playoff hunt in St. Louis. We're ahead of Pittsburgh the entire season until a week or two ago. So really, really nice profile. So that's a big time talent they have there. Not to be outdone in by him. Those top two in the Rookie of the Year race would have to be these two, Brandon. Barriera. Barriera has a crazy season on the go here. Unfortunately, he's out for most of the season. He should be back, I think, a week left or playoffs if Arizona makes it. One of the craziest things I've ever seen is that 50% K rate, striking over half his batters this season. Almost no one in baseball is over 40%, and he's at 50.8, so it's just crazy. He's only let up 5 hits per 9. Just shows how valuable Austin Hedges is behind the plate, calling games there with that crazy defense and catchability. 2.6 FIP with those ratings is nuts. Only 35 control, but his BB walk right there is 13%, which makes sense with low control, but the home runs aren't too bad. It's just striking out so many guys. The rest is just not hurting them too much, even though these are both pretty well below average. But just crazy. Guys are only hitting 156 off, and he just has so much power and spin on the ball that no one can hit him. So the guy's got 12, on pace for 12 wild pitches. But yeah, in 88 innings, he has something ridiculous, like 180 strikeouts. It's just one of the most ridiculous relief seasons you'll ever see. A lefty there. Just love it. It's unfortunate for Arizona. He's going to be out down the stretch. Yeah, 187 strikeouts in 88 innings. That's the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in this game. You got a nice young arm here. Not young. Nice arm here in Japanese guy in Chicago, logging a ton of innings. Unfortunately, he's letting up a ton of home runs, 2 per 9, which is really killing his overall stats. But he is on pace to log 170 innings for another rebuilding team there, which is valuable. And then you have another crazy season here out of the other guy in Arizona with 15 wins and 11 wins, these two relief pitchers. This guy's having a crazy season. Another lefty there, only walking 5% of guys, only up to 0.3 home runs per 9 in 70 innings, 2.2 FIP. So just another guy that Austin Hedges is making look like a star. Solid 55 stuff, 55 movement, but definitely playing way above those ratings right now at looking like an elite all-star reliever of the year type player, which is crazy. So those two young rookie lefties in Arizona just killing it. That guy should fill in a lot with Barriera out for a couple weeks. So he could be really valuable down the stretch here. And the last arm I'll talk about is William Kepner. Kepner is a beast. He's got a 96 mile an hour sinker slider combo, which is really nice. He's got a 220 opponent batting average this season. He's walking about 8% of guys, striking out about 18. As you see, most guys fall between those two, kind of like 8-9%, and then 17 to 20%. Those top young arms. The whip's really low. The hits are pretty low per 9. The ZRA is only 3.3. The FIP's about a point higher, so been getting a little lucky there with that 3.3 ERA. Looks really nice, sparkling. Only 2 wild pitches in 124 innings, so you can just see his control has played really nicely, and just been a really valuable piece for yet another team, just like St. Louis. Washington is right in the thick of things in the playoff race, just right behind me there by a game or so. All season we've been neck and neck, so it's going to be really interesting. He'll have some really valuable starts down the stretch run here from the young gun, the rookie. So that's it for Rookie of the Year stuff. Recap everything. It looks like in the NL, you got a really tight race between Vasquez and Barriera. Both guys are going to be really hard to decide between. I think one of the best release seasons ever from the Arizona guy who's looking like a playoff team, which is crazy, on pace for just a ridiculous over 200 strikeouts if he stayed healthy there. But then Vasquez is a star young lefty with 3.5 fit for another team that might be in the playoffs. So it will come down to if, everyone's opinion. It should be a close vote there, I think. But you also have this other guy in Arizona who knows what he does the last month and catches up there. Beck also we didn't talk about. That's a nice 2-war season now of the Los Angeles Dodger. Ground ball guy with 65 controls, just logging a lot of innings there, 136 pace there. Only walking 7% of guys. Strikeout rate's a little bit low with 40 stuff, but just a guy that doesn't walk too many guys and keeps the ball in the park at a .5 home run per 9. So just a solid season out of him too. One more guy actually we could talk about here is Cintron. Cintron is just a guy in Colorado that has a high movement. They obviously want to avoid home runs in that ballpark, so they just went out and got a guy with crazy movement, only letting a .6 home runs per 9, which is pretty awesome for that stadium. Lets up a lot of hits and doesn't have great peripherals here, but doesn't matter. When you keep the ball in the park, that's all you got to do. Sometimes Colorado will win some games. As you can see, pretty consistent starter. Like he went 8 innings last time and only went up 2 runs. A huge victory against the first place San Francisco. So just getting some pretty high quality appearances there with that high movement. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Next episode I will have up in a day or two is actually a power rankings of the entire league positional players and pitchers. It'll just be the top 10 ranking for each position, which I spent a lot of time on tonight. Had a lot of fun doing. So I'll think about that a little bit more before I make the video and have that up next. Cheers.